Welcome to another edition of Insurance Questions Podcast, episode number 63. Holy cow. Your buddy Eddie Buffalo. On the bottom is Sassy Sarah. And up next to me, either to your left or the right, depending on what you're looking at, is the one, the only, the infamous Donnie Lowe.
The
Heidi ho.
infamous. Yay.
I'm not worthy.
Go ahead, Donnie.
I'm not worthy of an introduction like that.
Oh, you are. You are, Donnie. You're worthy.
I was going to say,
You're
every
worthy.
time
You're
that
worthy.
you say where I'm positioned, it's completely different for me. So like I have you on my left side and Donnie's on the bottom.
See, you're on the
Yeah,
bottom.
he is.
I'm on the right.
Yeah, he is.
Oh my goodness. This is a family show.
Who
Yes.
said? I filled out that thing that said it's not for kids, so whatever.
We
So
didn't see that page.
it's a good way to say, and all the opinions and statements made on Insurance Question Podcast by Eddie Buffalo, Sassy Sarah, and Donnie Lowe are solely for entertainment purposes. There you go. What's that?
There you
Perfect.
go.
We had to start again, folks, because I kept on freezing. So whatever. You know, who thought I'd freeze in Texas? I could see that in Buffalo, but not in Texas. So how's
That's
everybody doing
because
today?
you're in Greenville, Texas, which is a small town, and the internet's getting
Why are you
there.
such a hater on Greenville? I
I'm not
love
being-
Greenville.
I'm
I
not
love
being
all
a
my friends in
hater.
Greenville. Hater.
So Texas is really big. There's a lot of small towns and they don't have fiber everywhere. That's the issue.
Well, what should they, substitute in their diet if they can't have fiber? What do they eat?
Very funny. Ha, ha, ha.
I was thinking something like that, but I didn't want to say it.
No, I already knew he was going to say it. I'm like, oh, I didn't specify it was
So they can
internet.
poop. So I can poop on you. Well, before we had to dump everything out, we were having a wonderful conversation about where Sassy Sarah's going this weekend. Why don't you tell us where you're going again, Sarah, and we'll try not to freeze.
Okay, so we are going to the Noah's Ark Museum in Kentucky, which I'm super stoked about because I heard about it, or I found out about it about a year and a half ago, and I'm finally going. And it's basically, it has a standard museum. You get to go around and look at everything, but they have a Noah's Ark exhibit where it's built based off the specifications in the Bible, which I'm really excited to go see.
Now,
And
Donnie,
haven't.
I got to ask you something. Now, you went to high school with Noah. Was he a good dude or was he a jerk? Did he give you a spot on the ark? Did you get
He
to pet
did.
the animals?
You know, ironically, I went to a vocational school, and I took carpentry. And when I was a freshman,
Whoa. Were you one of Joe and Mary's stepkids? Is that where we're going with
my
this, Donnie Lowe?
goodness. Oh my goodness. It runs in the family.
People in Williamsville and Amherst think they're God. So I get
Oh,
it.
my
I totally
God.
get it.
My goodness.
So
I didn't grow
I'm
up in
sitting at the
Williamsville.
left hand of the Donnie. Here are prayers.
So listen to my story. When I was a freshman, the senior class at that time were building a boat, an ark,
Shut up. You're making
and
this
carpentry.
up now.
No, I'm serious.
That's too timely of a conversation, Donnie.
Yeah, it's
I'm
the
calling on you.
truth. It's true.
I don't know about that.
But as I mentioned before, my daughter did go to see the Noah's Ark.
Yes.
She said it was just absolutely amazing. The museum is incredible. The size of the ark is just breathtaking. So it's
I don't mean to be
incredible.
stupid, but do they actually have animals on the property?
I believe they do. I can't remember if she said they did or didn't. I believe they do. Did you ever see the commercials though with the giraffe with the glasses, like the kids and?
No,
Oh
that
my
was
God.
Toys R Us. That was Jeffrey from Toys R Us.
No.
They went out of business a long time ago.
They
you know?
did.
Yeah, he worked his way up from going from the Ark all to having toy stores all across
There
America.
you
That's
go.
pretty amazing. Yeah. So I just looked it up because I thought Jack Daniels was from Kentucky, but it's Jim Beam's from Kentucky, right?
I believe so.
So, question, Sarah, will they have Jim Beam right on the ark for consumption?
I don't know. I've never been there.
I don't think so.
Possibly not.
So did your daughter get hammered with Jim Beam on the ark with the animals? Are the
No,
animals
no,
drunk
no.
on the ark? That's what I want to know.
That's
Are they
a good
hammered
question.
or just feeling tipsy?
I'll have to get back to you on that one because I don't know.
All right, that's enough nonsense for today.
Enough nonsense.
I am going to sit here and be a quiet observer because welcome to Insurance Podcast Theater, starring Donnie Lowe as your sales consultant, or what did you want to be called before you were saying?
Not sales. It's educational.
Educational
Yes.
person. And Sassy Sarah is going to be our customer. So before we get started, you do have your checkbook out, right, Sarah?
No.
Oh,
This is theatrical. meaning it's
Kind of
not-
par for the course, not taking a check with your apps, huh, Donnie?
Yeah, really. Oh my goodness.
Goodbye.
So what we're a little background here, because we always get a lot of questions from people, what is the process to go through for a life insurance policy? And we thought we would just kind of walk through it a little bit, not in great detail or anything, but just to kind of give you an idea of what the process is. Now, with some of the services that we have to offer and some of the life insurance products that we have to offer, there is absolutely no underwriting involved at all. But typically with those policies, they're for a lower dollar amount or coverage amount. The premiums are, just slightly a little bit higher. But it's always a great idea to speak with an insurance professional to make sure that you're getting the specific amount of coverage that you need at a premium price that you can afford within your budget, and the correct type of life insurance policy, because there's a variety of them available. Some of the questions that we get asked are, all right, what do I need to do? What are the requirements? So requirements are, the underwriting team takes a look at your medical history, your personal history. Do you have any DUIs, anything like that? Any felonies, things like that. So they look for personal character. They look for health. And the three things that the underwriting team looks at, and any insurance company, policies are based on gender, age, and health of the client. Now, let's say you have there's a brother and sister that are identical twins, or just twins, same birth date, same good health, everything's the same. The sister, her policy is going to be lower premium than the brother, than the male. And the reason why is, and Sarah, you've mentioned this a few times, sometimes boys are just stupid and they do stupid things.
Yes. And
But-
the girls just get the popcorn and watch.
That's
Like,
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I always go
hence-
to, when I was a kid, our neighbor and my brother, or the neighbor's boy and my brother, would catch bees in jars and shake them up. And me and the neighbor's sister would sit back and just watch them run away from the bee. And they got stung a few times, and we're just dying of laughter because it's like, you do that, it's our entertainment.
That's right. That's right. So the actuarials take that into account. So females tend to live longer than males, hence the disparity in the premium
Yes.
pricing.
Well, and you mentioned something about if someone has a felony. I never knew that was something that was asked on a life insurance policy. I mean, it's probably, you get it on so many different applications. What happens with that? Do they look at the type of felony, such as armed robbery, or if it's just wrong place, wrong time kind of situation? Because I know here in Texas, if you're involved in the crime and it turns into a felony, you become a felon, even if you weren't actually doing anything. Stop it, Eddie. You don't need to pretend you're going to sleep, because this is actually a valid question. It's how does that play into it? Because I never thought of that.
Sure. So Yes, it depends on the type of felony, how long ago it was,
Okay.
you know, so if somebody did something kind of bad or whatever, or maybe a DWI or DUI 10 years ago, maybe it's a late teen or early 20s or whatever, but
Mhm.
10 years have passed, clean record, that can generally be taken off the chart, you know, so
Okay.
off the table, so to speak. So that, you know, that wouldn't hold against them, definitely. So you have to think of it this way. Say you have a need for $1 million worth of life insurance, and you're going to be paying, you know, X amount of dollars a month or a year. Let's just say, I mean, I don't know what the price would be. Just say $150 a month that you're paying. So you have to look at it from the insurer's side, where here's somebody who's paying $150 a month, yet the insurance company's on the hook for $1 million. So they want to make sure that, you know, they're issuing a good policy for somebody that they feel is trustworthy and is, you know, somewhat healthy. And, you know, so, you know, that's kind of the behind the scenes aspect of that.
Okay.
While you're on mute, Ed, I'm going to ask you.
Well, I like that you gave everybody like baseline information of that, but what I was hoping you would do is run a fact finder, you know, a very brief fact finder to
Sure.
show people what questions you are going to ask the customer, so they're kind of not really surprised. And a lot of the questions we ask folks is it's not that we're being nosy or we want to find out, but the more information we have about you and your background, we would be better able to decide what we think is good for you. And if you agree with us, that's great. If not, you know, we're not for everybody. You know, everybody's different. So that's what I was hoping you would do with Sarah. Okay, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna mute myself out again.
I'll get to that right now. So, just also know that any information that we discuss is strictly confidential. And the only people we share it with are people within the insurance company. So basically the underwriting team. All right. We have a fiduciary responsibility with all of our clients and for our clients. So we don't share any of your personal information with anybody else. So we would start with the basic information: proper name, address, date of birth, social security number. We are required to get some form of identification. So typically it's a driver's license. It can be a passport. So we'll start with all that information. But when we start to dig down a little bit deeper, we'll start asking some somewhat general health questions. And Sarah, if you want to just role play a little, you don't give me, you know, your information, but we'll
Yes,
just
I'll
kind of
make
go
up
through
stuff.
this.
We're good. Eddie, this is not how you get the information from your sis from another mother. Like, this is not.
Exactly. And he doesn't, maybe he does know he's on mute. So
Yeah.
anyway, so we start with, you know, personal history, and some of the questions are, you know, Sarah, do you use any type of tobacco or nicotine products?
All the time. I am like a chimney.
Okay. And how often, you know, on a daily basis or weekly basis?
We'll say daily basis.
And is it smoking cigarettes or is it vaping?
Vaping, because
Okay.
that looks cool. No.
It looks cool.
Is it the marijuana? Is it double lettuce?
Marijuana is not legal in Texas.
Ah. So about how many times a day do you vape?
We'll say 5 times a day.
Okay, very good. Are you on any type of medication for anything?
No.
Okay, very good. Are you currently disabled, or are you going to apply for disabled?
I would say she's disabled. The way I've talked to her a bunch of times, I think she's disabled. Just saying.
Just saying.
Really? Then yes, we'll use Eddie's thing, and I'll say I'm disabled.
Well,
I'm
if we
gonna
say
apply for
yes, then I have to
disabled.
dig into the disability.
Oh, okay. We'll say no.
We'll say
We're not
no.
going to dig that
Yeah,
grave.
exactly. Okay. Another question that's asked, as we talked about, have you ever been convicted of a felony or currently on parole or probation?
No,
Very good. Have you ever been convicted of operating a motor vehicle while under the influence within the last 5 years?
no,
Very good. Have you been found at fault in a motor vehicle accident, convicted of a moving violation, or received a driver's license restriction or revocation, speeding ticket, suspended license,
I
reckless
was gonna ask
driving?
that. Does that include speeding tickets or anything like that? We'll say no for the sake of this, but.
Okay, within the last 3 years.
3
is the
years, no.
Within the last 3 years, okay. Any recent or anticipated foreign travel?
Yes,
Okay, and is it travel for leisure,
yes.
for a vacation?
We'll
Okay,
say
and
leisure.
where are you planning to go?
Ireland. So if any of the listeners want to join our Patreon so I can go to Ireland, that would be fantastic. I'm just.
Beautiful, I love that
putting it
response.
out there.
Any recent or anticipated military involvement?
No,
Any recent or anticipated aviation experience? Example, a pilot, student pilot, crew member?
no,
All right, are you aware of these questions?
no. This is awesome. I'm learning so much. I'm like, I just want to get my pilot's license so I can say yes to that question.
You're better off saying no. So it's
Better
easy.
off saying no. Okay.
I mean,
No.
don't lie, but the
No,
better
no.
answer is no.
I love the back and forth on you guys, but I think you're missing the one question that and I was waiting for you to see if you were gonna go there, Donnie. But one of the first thing I ask my customers before I sit down with them is, hey, what do you want to get accomplished here today? Because you did not ask Sarah what she wanted to buy or why you're in her beautiful office there in McKinney.
You're right. I did not ask her that. And I guess I was going under the presumption that we already had that conversation.
Don't assume, Donnie, because what
I
happens?
didn't say assume, I said presumption.
Presumption.
Oh,
He used a different
you're
word.
so silly. All right, I'll shut up again. Bye.
Ah, and then one of the other questions that is asked is any recent or anticipated participation in like extreme sports? So are you planning to go skydiving or bungee jumping off of a bridge or something like that?
No.
Okay.
Funny story. I'm afraid of heights, and I would love to do that just to say I don't let fear hold over me. And I'm like, no, I wouldn't do that.
Good for you. Good for you. Then some of the next things that we would step into to continue the application process. I'm just looking
Just
at these.
ignore Eddie's face. Like I know I'm trying not to let him distract me either.
I
I see
know,
random
I
faces
know.
happening.
No, we
So
would,
to the listeners, you need to watch the podcast because Eddie makes some amazing faces when he's not talking.
yes, absolutely. He just pulled out a back scratcher, scratching his back.
Mhm.
I'm not even going to tell you what he's doing right now. So, some of the other questions that we would ask during the application process, your income, annual household income, although ideally that would have been done before, and I'll explain in a
Right.
second. But we would ask for beneficiary information. So should something happen to you that you should pass, who do you want the proceeds of your life insurance policy be given to? So that's another question. And with beneficiaries, you can change it at any time, number one. There are a number of steps that you can take with the beneficiaries. Primary beneficiary, secondary beneficiary, meaning should your primary beneficiary pass before you, the secondary beneficiary would then receive the funds.
Okay.
So
Now,
questions like
here's a
that.
question for you with the life insurance, especially with women. Do you ask if they plan on having more children and growing their family depending on age?
No,
Okay.
no, we don't
I
ask that
know
question.
complications with pregnancy have gone down. I was just curious on that piece.
Yeah, no, we don't ask that question.
Cause I'm like, if
I
you
don't
say
think we're
that,
allowed to.
no, I'm good. I don't want more children. Two's enough.
So in the meeting or the conversations before we actually sit down to do the application,
Mhm.
we would go through in much more detail what it is that you want to accomplish, as Ed had mentioned. Why do you believe you need some life insurance? And we would kind of do this fact finder to say, determine based on your numbers what that coverage amount should be and the length of coverage. Is it term insurance or temporary, or is it permanent insurance that you would have for your whole life? So we would kind of go through that already, and then we would come up with the amount, the length of coverage, and then start the application process.
And what's surprising on that is that people are very surprised because they never sit down and figure out what their monthly nut is. You
Right.
know,
Mhm.
I mean, most people that are married, their mortgages are based on two incomes,
Mhm.
or if everybody's got a car note or anything like that, or credit card debt. That other person dies tomorrow, it's all yours, baby.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people that don't think they need it are the ones that probably need it the most. And what I'll usually ask, and I know we differ a little bit on this, Donnie, is that rule of thumb is they ask you how much, most places ask you how much that you make a year, and they duplicate that by 10 times to figure out the amount of insurance. But I also like looking at another way. Like, say you got a $500,000 mortgage and $440,000 is left. The minimum is I would like you to have something that's actually going to pay off the house. So that's one less thing you have to worry about.
Absolutely. We always do take into account whatever debts that you might have that you would want to pay off. But if we take just a slight step back, what is the purpose of this
Why are we meeting
policy?
today, Sarah? What do you look?
The purpose would be to make sure that if something happens to me, my family's taken care of, especially with me being owning a business and the growth there. I just want to make sure that it all doesn't go to in the pooper because I pass away.
Such language. I would never talk like that. That's terrible.
No, you'd say something else that we can't say.
Not
That's right.
online.
But
This
yeah,
is really-
that's a typical response because everybody wants to make sure that their family is taken care of, and taken care of means different things to different people.
Mhm.
So you kind of say, well, what would happen if you're now no longer in the picture and your income is no longer in the picture? How long do you want your family to sustain the way they're living at the minimum right now? How many years down the road?
I mean, 'cause it's horrible. You lost a loved one. And a lot of people can't even mourn because they're worried about their bills, their house, their kids, and things like that.
Even paying
I
off
think
for the funeral.
I think this is going to be a two-parter because I think we went over a lot of information today. And I think we'll go to part 2 next week when we reconvene. But I got to tell you, do you know the best way to do this? The easiest way to do this? Anybody?
Fill it out on
Anybody?
your
Share us.
website.
Share with us.
Wait, you don't even have to talk to somebody like Donnie or me, but you definitely want to talk to me. Donnie, I don't know. Maybe not.
That's all right.
I mean, because it's so easy to fill everything out. And what's nice about our website, ebiagency.com, is that if you have problems, that is my cell phone right on the bottom of the screen. And if I don't get it, somebody else that works with us will give you your answers. So, we had to talk about this because we're doing a lot of different things going on now. And I'm proud to announce that in the next couple of days, you will actually be able to go to Amazon.com at our EBI agency store, and you can buy any product you want. And through our partners, you can also buy annuities and Bitcoin. So if we're live on Friday, we'll do a quick show on Friday to show everybody where to go on Amazon. But it should be very user friendly. And plus, I said, if you ever have a problem, you can contact us by either phone call or email that's listed on the website. So for your buddy Eddie Buffalo, Donnie Lowe, and Sassy Sarah, it was a lot of great information. And part 2 will happen next Wednesday. So make sure everybody tunes in. But until then, like we always say, if you like working with people that are just like you, we're the people to come to. All our information's on the bottom of our pictures.
Hold on, wait a
Sarah.
second, wait a second. You're
Sarah,
missing
I
the
was
key
gonna get to
point.
you. Relax.
Like, subscribe, follow, do all the things,
Yes.
comment, share on all of our,
Because we get a poop load of people watching everything and listening, but 65% of you folks aren't liking or subscribing. And you need to do that because Sassy Sarah needs the dough.
yeah, I need to go to Ireland. Come on.
Right?
And we can do a podcast there. You guys get to
Yes.
see the beauty of it.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. So until next time, everybody, from all of us here, and hope your family and yourself stay safe until we see you again. So, like, okay, guys, we'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.